Welcome. We're here to showcase our latest development with our full door ligature alarm. We are still the only manufacturer of a full door detection, which means we don't just alert to ligatures at the edge of the door or parts of the edge of the door. We actually take away the ligature concern everywhere. Key thing here is if we're really wanting to meaningfully prevent the loss of life, we need to not just solve yesterday's issues, we also need to solve tomorrow's issues as well. And we know through good experience, ligature moves, and there are other areas on a door which are not priority ligature risks right now, but will become one when you take the edges away. So what we're going to do today is a development that we've been working on for about the last 9 months or so. We're making great progress and we're now on the final stretch of the product development. You'll see alongside this, we're going to showcase a video which actually explains what's happening on the onboard computer of our full door ligature alarm, assessing the loads and seeing when it is actually stepping outside of what we would deem as normal and when it will raise the alarm. So just to explain a little bit about what you'll see, you will see a line in the middle, which is basically the loads, the green line. And you'll then have a band that surrounds that. And when those things are green, that means it's within the safe limit. What you'll then start to see is when I apply a load, it'll step outside of that and it'll turn red. And then we'll actually trigger an alarm. I think about 3 or 4 seconds there, it will trigger an alarm. One of the first things I'm going to show you is just quite simply, let's show what our existing door alarm does. So in a situation where the door actually opens, someone was to put a ligature over the top of the door, we'll then allow the door to close and we'll then blow it. So that's us got the alarm detected and it's within the red zone, and you see that would be the point at which we would trigger the alert for staff and ask them to come and inspect the door. Now that's always been an evidence-led approach. All risks at its stance at this point in time are from a door in the closed position, because where there is privacy, there is risk, and a key part of privacy is actually the door being closed. However, in all these things, we always listen to customer feedback. You have the insights that are on the front line. You understand patients better than we do, better than anybody does. And we want to make sure that we're taking on board your feedback and working within the concerns that you have as ways that we can improve our product. So one of the first things that was raised was, well, what about if the door is slightly ajar? Will it still actually raise a ligature point there? So here I've got the door slightly ajar, and you can see me lean on it, and straight away you'll see it jumps into the red zone. Clearly it's been detected as a ligature point and it would alert staff. So again, even in that situation where the door is slightly ajar, you probably really see quite obviously the ligature risk at that point. But irrespective, we want to make sure that we're always improving the safety and helping protect people through their vulnerable times. The next question was, well, what if the door is completely open? And we've got a situation here that I'm almost all the way open, or here I'll take it to 90 degrees. Again, we'll apply a load. Straight away you can see it jump into the red zone. And that means that staff will be getting an alarm and they'll be able to come and help protect the person that's at their vulnerable time. So when we're looking at the development of moving from sensing in the closed position to actually sensing in the open position, the key message that we were getting from clinical teams is risk will evolve. It'll move where it's not covered, because patients are intelligent. They can work out the system's limitations. And one of the feedback points we had from clinicians was, well, what if the door is open and moving? Will it still be able to detect in that position? And so what we've actually got here is a system which will, if I got it detecting a ligature load, it's raising an alarm to staff. And here I've got a situation where even though the door is actually moving, going back and forth, we're still actually detecting ligature rate. And even if I put a load on, take that load off, you'll see it goes back into the green zone. And then we apply it on again and move it back and forth rapidly. We're still actually able to compute and understand what's happening to the door, knowing that this is an abnormal load and we need to raise the alert to staff. What you'll notice here is I'm interacting with the door. I'm opening and closing it. Alarms aren't going off. I'm holding the edge of the door. These are all parts of our natural behaviour. Probably one of the most important things is to recognise how we actually interact with doors. It's not how you might think, it's not using the door handle. We often touch doors, we kick doors, we do all sorts of things to doors. And we need to make sure that we have a system that manages that and works within that. And one of the kind of groundbreaking complex hurdles that we've had to overcome with this design is actually working within the realities of something which is permanently moving. Not just in terms of open and close, but adjusting to seasons within the building, the expansion and contraction of frames, heating coming on, a damp atmosphere, a dry atmosphere. And that's where the real intelligence comes with this system and its capability of continually adapting itself to make sure it's able to understand what is a normal interaction and what is an abnormal interaction. And always the best way I have at describing this is I've got the edge of the door, I'm touching it, I'm grabbing it, I might be talking to somebody, maybe even my foot is at the edge of a door and I'm having a chat with them and I'm just having a casual conversation. Somebody walks away, I then apply a load, and all of a sudden we recognise that that is going into the red zone, we raise the alarm for staff and they're able to come and help. And that's how we're working with our clinical teams, with our estates teams, to keep the evolution going. Let's combine the best-in-class door alarm with the best-in-class range of operation as well. And all of this is supported with our dashboard services, which make sure that your testing regimes are not going to become a burden for clinical teams and supporting good clinical care. Thank you for your time.